What's up, you guys? I thought I would come on here and share you guys something. This is hella black boogeyman syndrome BS. It's just with all this, like, you know, okay, here's the thing that I ask myself. Is it just that we have the internet and we're seeing all this stuff, or has it happened for a long time? You know, to be honest, it seems like it's happening a lot more. But, you know, I don't know, or maybe the internet is catching it, you know. I can tell you a long time ago it's happened to me, you know, like even before all this stuff. I remember being in an area in California, kind of borderlines LA County and Orange County, called Los Alamitos. I was a kid, you know, little punk rock sort of kid, you know. I'm not from there, by the way. I'm from Long Beach, Los Angeles, or, you know, South Los Angeles County. Some people might say that. So I'm going to, with the church, with my mom and dad. They went to rehearse or something like that with something that they were doing. And, apparently, let me make sure I'm in the right parking space. I just went to ask at this 7-Eleven, you know, what time it was. And apparently, you know, I somehow, like, spooked the guy in the store. And at the time, you know, like, I had my hair, it was a lot longer, you know, I had my hair, like, braided and kind of spiked up, you know, like Liberty spiked. Just imagine Coolio, the rapper Coolio, but more punk rock. And actually, I had no idea he was doing the same thing until my brother told me. He had a little twist on it, though. Anyway, here I am with my hair and my boots and stuff. And I go in there, you know, I just peeked in the door. I peeked in the freaking door, asking what time it was. So I'm on my way, and I'm on my way back. And Orange County is a lot different from, like, Los Angeles or any part of LA County. You know, well, I guess some people might consider Lomita and Torrance similar, but it's still different. You find, like, a lot more, you know, black folks in the areas that I'm from, you know, like Long Beach, and there's, like, San Pedro and Carson, you know, and you know, anyway, this is a predominantly white, maybe even some Asians that live in this particular part of California, kind of Orange County-ish. So, like, I'm on my way back to rehearsal with my parents, you know, and 3 cop cars, like, freaking roll up on me, and I'm like, oh shoot, what the hell's going on here? And I just stopped, you know, I stopped because I'm like, I ain't trying to get killed, you know, and I'm like wondering why. And I put my hands up, you know. I don't know, did I put my hands up? I know I just stopped because I didn't want to move. And, you know, they were just saying, well, we got this call. And I'm like, that fool called? You know, like, why did he even call on me? And, you know, actually, the police officers was really, especially this one police officer was real cool. You know, he didn't trip, you know, like, I've seen the opposite, though, trust me, more than a few times. But this was, I could say this time, they didn't trip. You know, the cop, like, drove me back to my location. You know, I was a little kid, you know, I didn't know, you know, why the hell, you know, like, you know, I'm a teenage black sort of punk rocker type dude or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell did this dude call the cops on me for? And then thinking about it even now with all this other rash, like, cop calling BS, you know, obviously I know it was because I was black, you know. I definitely know that. And just, it wasn't just the way that I looked because, you know, I mean, yeah, I looked weird, but, you know, there's not too many of us over in that area. It was no excuse to do that, but this is the thing that pisses me off. Black people have been blamed for so much, and there's all this animosity and fear. It's like what Public Enemy talked about, fear of a black planet. It's a fear of black existence, period. You know, I'm one of those people, just, you know, in case a lot of people don't, I mean, I have a lot of people that I deal with. I don't mind being sort of eclectic. I know who I am, you know, to the point where I've gotten in some pretty interesting conversations. If any of you guys are on Facebook, you might trip out. Anyway, and it's not just Facebook, but also in person. I've gotten into some pretty interesting conversations with people, you know, concerning, you know, things that black people go through and how things are in the society. You know, I've gotten into conversations with black, white, Hispanic, Asian, all kinds of different people. But bringing it back to the subject matter, it's a trip because, like, when you think about, you know, you're minding your own business and this person is scared of you, the question that I ask is why? Why the hell are you scared of me? Oh man, I just remembered something. I had another incident where a friend of mine, she had this roommate, and the roommate was afraid, little Asian, she's from China, you know, and she didn't even want to answer the door, you know. I'm not saying all Asians think this way. I grew up around, you know, Asians, blacks, you know, Latin cats, mostly Mexican and black cats I grew up in the neighborhood with. And with some sprinkle of Asian and some white. But bringing it back, like, this woman, I have to be honest, I'm glad that she talked to me, and I told her what was up. She admitted that she was afraid of black people because of the images on TV. So, you know, like, and this is the sad part about it. Media says a whole lot. It says a whole lot about people and just creates a whole lot of things. I have an African friend of mine that we're a part of the same group, you know. And she was telling me how, like, even images of Africa, they have all this stuff, you know, about America being so good and all that, and just why, and she told me it's like the reason that a lot of us, you know, being African, come down and look down on Afro-Americans, because they portray us in a whole different light, you know, or they portray themselves in a different light than what we see, you know, on TV or whatever. They, you know, and they wondered why we were suffering because of the things that they saw on TV. That's what I meant to say. And media says a whole lot. That's why I give it to all you black YouTubers, man. Especially black YouTubers. Because you guys are going against something that, unfortunately, is a well-oiled machine. And also is huge. It's like the pebble in the machine. It's like the mouse against a bunch of elephants. Think of yourself as that. Supposedly mice scare elephants. I don't know. But media says a whole lot, and the way that things are portrayed says a whole lot about people. And it creates these images that could easily influence people. And that's where, like, a lot of, I mean, after years of programming, not just black people, but also, like, the society as a whole on what black people are about. I mean, to the point where they have the racial pyramid pecking order and all that stuff. You know, the images of us are so supposedly scary and just, like, people don't want to even deal with us in a lot of ways because of just the images that they see on TV and in society. And this calling the cops thing, it's funny. It's almost like the last ditch effort of this stuff. Oh, we're gonna remind you and force you to fit this stereotype of this angry brute that's gonna hurt, kill, and destroy us. You know, the whole Colin Faltery and Jarhead Taylor narrative about blacks being mostly criminal and all that. You know, it's just, yeah, really? Well, what about all the stuff that you've done, you know? It really crosses me, you know, like when I think about that, because although I didn't, you know, although the cops, I have to admit, they were cool with me, that doesn't always happen. as you guys have seen, you know, like, I mean, you got Tamir Rice getting shot. You know, you got cats getting arrested for nothing. Cats getting beat and stuff because the cops were called on them and stuff like that. You know, not good situations. You know, and I do that call the cops stuff, like I do that call the cops song that I made up because although I think it's funny, I'm totally mocking the people that do that for no reason. A part of me, yeah, there's an anger to that. A lot of anger to that, man. A lot of anger goes into that, you know, because you get tired of that. You get tired of people that look like you getting killed. You get tired of people that, you know, look like you getting mistaken and regarded as some boogeyman. It's stupid, you know? So I'm sorry again, you know, like, just talking about all this stuff, it just had it in my mind. I've been seeing so much stuff on people calling the cops on black people for nothing. I mean, you know, it's just stupid. Eventually, I'll probably make a whole giant song about all the incidents, but you know, I'll probably have to remake it and remake it and remake it and remake it because it keeps happening. It happens all the time, you know? But I want to give a shout out especially to like a lot of black media, you know. Thank you all for just sticking in there and just doing what you do. We're the people on the street. We're the ones that finally get a chance to express our voice that those don't want to even hear. And we're all different. I know I'm freaking different, but at the same time, there's things that we have in common. And that's the common struggle of a lot of black folks, you know. If there's any, you know, any other folks watching it, you know, I mean, this message is not necessarily for you because you don't know what it's like, but at the same time, listen on and just learn to see what other people are going through and how we have to have our voice, you know, magnified against a huge, giant monster of a voice that has the main say in the society. So my salute to all the black media and my disrespect and disdain and venom spat at any other idiot that tries to call the cops on black people for nothing. You know? My disdain for white supremacy. My disdain for those that want to stop my autonomy and our autonomy as a people. You know? I'm one that, I will say this, I don't believe that all white people are white supremacists. Some people may disagree with that. Oh well. But I believe that the system of white supremacy was built for and by white people. And the only way that you could, you know, go against that is basically expose it and do away with it, you know. It's the only thing that you could really do. And just as a people, unify. No matter how different a person is, you know. A lot of us focus on so much of our differences to the point where we won't, you know, team up for a common cause and you know, like, or what people might call a code or whatever, a code of conduct. But this is a reality check for all of us. I mean, shoot. What else could I say? Anyway, this video is long. It might sound like I'm rambling or whatever, but just some concern. Shout out to all my fellow black YouTubers, and also peace to all those that are cool with just freedom, justice, and equality, and true autonomy, which does not stamp out anybody else's autonomy. You know, true autonomy does not persecute. True autonomy does not oppress. True autonomy lets people roam freely in justice and equally. True autonomy influences its own and espouses freedom for everybody. Freedom and justice for all. Peace. Besame Ab Wawa Memphis Kadus Ahadu Amlak Amin. Your homie Odd Rocker.